Round one of the U.S. Open is in the books, and we are here at Golfbet to update you on your bets. Tiger Woods started the day very well, but ended at +4, a 74. Welcome in here to Golfbet live on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Chris Brees holding down the fort here in Florida, and our two gents, Will Gray and Ben Everill, they're live on the scene at Pinehurst. Boys, what did you think of day one?
We are getting cozy here on Radio Row. It was a fun day. Listen, this course I think has really defined itself and defended itself well through the opening round. This is all you want out of a USGA test. If you play well, a score like 65 is within reach. If you're a little bit off, ejection button is never too far away. We got some big names at the top. I'm sure we're going to get into them, but Benny, I really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to the next three for sure.
You're 100% right about, if you play well, you've got a score out there, and if you don't, you're like Justin Thomas, Victor Hovland, Sahith Theegala.
Yeah.
Before we've even got to round two, they'll need to do something amazing to be back for the weekend. I can't see that happening. And what that does show, though, is also carnage is just around the corner. And I think Tiger might be right when he said that whatever the score is on day one, we're probably going to be hovering there or going backwards from that point as things sort of get hard and fast. I'm really looking forward to that. I want to see a couple of car crashes. I want to see these guys get creative around these greens. I didn't check just the last before we came on, but not long ago, the top 9 players in scrambling were all in the top 15 of the leaderboard. That lets you know what you need to do well around this joint.
That was a
Martin Keimer blueprint, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's you got to be able. If you're putting, you're chipping, whatever you're doing around these greens, that's going to be your key to success or a reason why you're slamming the trunk on Friday.
That was our key stat earlier in the week, and they're all chasing Rory McIlroy, who has the lead tied at -5, looking for that 5th major, guys. Of course, he's come close. Call him backdoor top 5s, but Rory has not really been in this exact spot, you could say. So, thoughts on 240? I mean, almost 2-1 when he's tied for the lead sounds a little ridiculous.
I don't love it. There's a lot of scar tissue here with Rory McIlroy when it comes to this specific major, when it comes to all of the majors over the last 10 years. He has, as you said, found a lot of different ways to come close but not actually get it done since we left Valhalla in 2014. He's off to a great start. This was a great round. He's walking in the putt on 18, even though he told us later that he actually thought he had left it short, so that's what prompted the early walk. Ben, we were both out there for bits of it, and you feel the crowd start to really be drawn to that group. It was the marquee group of the afternoon with Scottie Scheffler and Xander Schauffele. You have to love his position. He hasn't shot himself out of it as he sometimes has, especially at the Masters. But, man, it's a very short price.
+250 or whatever it is. No thank you.
Yeah.
No way. At least wait till after he comes out tomorrow morning and see how he backs this thing up. Look, since that win in Valhalla 10 years ago, 20 top 10s in majors, but 0 wins. 0 wins, and you're going to get on 250 now. I drank the Kool-Aid before Valhalla this year, fell into a heap because of it. I probably, you know what, actually, now I think about it, he's probably going to win because I blacklisted him. Apparently when I blacklist guys, they win majors. I blacklisted Xander because of his performance when Rory beat him right before the PGA, goes on and wins. Now Rory's probably going to win because I've blacklisted him. But no, look, I just don't necessarily think he can keep up that pace. Obviously, we talked about how things are going to regress and things are going to get tougher. He always finds a way to have one poor round too.
Yep.
Talked about this before. He's going to have a struggle round. Is he going to make that a 75 or can he make it a 70? If he makes it a 70, he's in it up to his eyeballs. It's a 75. Once again, we're going to be talking about a T7 or a T4 for Rory McIlroy.
For the pro Rory crowd, here's the trend is your friend.
Yes.
3 times before, he has opened a major with a bogey-free round, as he did today with a 65. Each of those 3, he went on to win. Congressional 2011, Kiowa 2012, Hoylake in 2014. So 3 for 3, trying to make it 4 for 4. It's always nice to have a major round with no squares on the scorecard, but even more so at the U.S. Open.
Maybe it feels different for Rory. It kind of did get that inkling today that maybe this is Rory's time. He clearly has been playing his best golf of the last couple of years. Patrick Cantlay has not been playing his best golf, but today it did not matter. Turn things around big time with an early tee time. He is tied for the lead, trying to go off his best friend Xander Schauffele and get that first major championship, get that major title off his back. Patrick Cantlay's odds plus 900, a little better, a little more appetizing, appealing, Ben, but I don't know. It's still Patrick Cantlay, and it still makes you wonder if this guy really does have it.
I've just put him on the fade list.
Uh-oh.
Draws and fades. So he probably will win as well. Another omen there.
We'll have co-champions here. Everyone that Ben is jinxing, congrats on your win.
Yes. But no, the reason I've done that is because in 29 majors, he has 4 top 10s, and 3 of those were T8, T9, T9. It's not been his cup of tea, the major championships, and as you said, Chris, this is out of the box for what he's been doing this season. He hasn't had a good season. Today he got there. I had a delve into his stats. He got there around the greens, strokes gained around the greens. Had a big day, with the scrambling and whatnot. Given it's going to get tougher, you want to keep up that clip to keep in front. You're going to have to, but he hasn't been doing that this year, so I'm worried about him being able to keep pace the way he's been going today.
I have absolutely no idea what to make of Patrick Cantlay. This guy has not been able to crack an egg for 2 months. He has never been in the mix at a major to the level that we expect even guys like Xander Schauffele, when we were talking about him a month ago as maybe the best player without a major. And now all of a sudden he comes out and shoots a 65 like we're playing TPC River Highlands. So I am skeptical, certainly, of where he's going to be able to take this, given the strength on the board near him, among those leaders. Are you telling me that he's got 3 or 4 times less likely of a chance to win than Rory McIlroy when they're both sitting there at 5 under? Maybe not. I do think that when you look at the Scheffler liability, when you look at Rory's number shortening so much, maybe Patrick Cantlay's number could
right
be.
Number.
Yeah, it seems about right, as most others are maybe shorter than they should be. But it's tough to get behind a Cantlay wager or an in-play ticket at this point, just knowing he has been so off the grid for the last 2 months. I'm not sure that he can just come around here and put it all together for 4 straight rounds.
Rory's play was the right play, and now we have the wrong number. Cantlay's play was out of the blocks, not what we expected, but he now has probably the right number if you're looking for something of value. It's just a matter of, do you trust that he can keep it up? And I haven't seen enough. It would make sense, as I said, we get 2 new major winners every year. It would totally make sense if we got to the end of this year and the 2 guys were the 2 mates, Xander and Cantlay, in some fashion. But not if you take into consideration the last 4 months of what he's done. I just don't know. I've got to wait. Yeah, we've got to wait for 1 more day at least.
Side note: shout out to the guy at DraftKings that put 80 grand
Oh
on
my
Cantlay,
God.
22 to 1 in play. So this is like a double star here.
Yeah.
Not only do you grab him at 22 to 1 for a live first round leader play, but then he cashed out
Right.
for 1.1 mil
Exactly,
with that birdie
'cause he
putt
would've,
on 18 from Rory. Would have taken like 850 grand
Yes.
out of his pocket. That is chestnut checkers, my friend. Well done.
Can we go to his party?
Yes, I think we're going to.
But, guys,
We'll step out here. We might be able to hear.
here's the thing about Cantlay, though. Take away the majors, okay? Because we know it's crap. Cantlay historically in random tournaments, signature events, even bigger tournaments.
Yeah, 8 wins.
If he's gonna be, he does win. But here's the thing: even if he's 1 or 2 strokes back on Saturday, or willing on Sunday, those odds probably are still going to be really juicy. And given the star power potential that Cantlay has, if he's sitting around there on Saturday or Sunday within the mix, granted if it's Rory and Ludvig playing lights out, who knows, but Cantlay might be pretty attractive if he's lurking 1 or 2 back later in the week, and his odds might be huge.
Well, I think it's going to have much more to do with who he's around on the leaderboard than what Patrick Cantlay represents as a potential winner. His number is a little inflated right now because he's tied with Rory, who outside of Scheffler is potentially the most popular bet pre-tournament and just from a casual perspective. If all of a sudden he's tied with Tony Finau or even Ludvig Aberg, is he going to have the same pull? I'm not sure. I think that's a big key, Ben, for me, is not only is Cantlay in the mix and how do you assess him from there and his chances, but who is near him, who's ahead of him on the board.
And I'll just add this. If you think those are juicy odds now, chances are somebody's going to play okay in the morning tomorrow. I think that's Rory especially. Cantlay's number's actually going to rise before he starts playing again. So you can actually hold back unless everyone implodes before he goes out and plays. You could potentially get even better odds before he starts playing it on Friday. But it's that afternoon wave that worries me a little bit too. It's supposed to get really hot tomorrow. It's going to bake out by the afternoon. He's going to have some tougher conditions, as I said, around those greens where he managed to keep things going today. I just have a little bit of worry. And as I said, you're right, Chris. We can revisit Cantlay tomorrow and even after Saturday and probably get some juice on his odds, unless he goes and does a Keimer and shoots 5 under tomorrow, and then we just have to say, well, we were wrong.
We had Rory McIlroy, the meteorologist, in the interview room today after his round, where he was talking about he noticed there was extra cloud cover over Pinehurst.
Oh, nice.
I was walking around there. I didn't see any clouds.
I got sunburned, so that happened.
He felt like there were clouds to the point where it was not as fiery this afternoon as he was expecting. So now he's saying, hey, I'm looking forward to a morning round when things are going to be a little calmer, and then let it bake for the rest of these guys and make it as hard as possible for the group that includes Patrick Cantlay, who will go out Friday afternoon for their second round.
If Cantlay can win, big if, we know that, it'll be even more impressive because the star power around him is so good right now, including an up-and-comer still looking for his first major, Ludvig Aberg. He is shaking off that injury, that alleged partially torn meniscus, which Ben kind of pried out of him, but he didn't really want to say anything. He is one shot off the lead. Thoughts, guys, on Ludvig? The injury, is it bad? It doesn't seem like it's bad. He was fine last week. Ben, you might have an update on this.
Well, we asked him again. We got asked again after his round today.
Did he really?
Stern face. Everything's fine. Not
it doesn't matter now.
Doesn't bother me at all. I don't know if I believe him, but we're going to run with it. He's fine, apparently. He's got no injury. The meniscus, partially torn meniscus, apparently makes him better at golf the way he played today. Another guy that, I just wrote in my draws and fades column, I don't know what to make of him, to be honest. Yeah. He was really good in some aspects, but he only had, I think, second off the tee, second in approach, but he only had to scramble twice, and he wasn't unable to do it both times. He actually ranks dead last, because he had 2 chances, but dead last, 0 for 2 in scrambling. If he has to do more of that, he's going to need to be better at it, otherwise he'll be in trouble.
Ludvig Aberg makes me feel very old, I'll tell you that. In the interview after the round, we asked him, what's the first, one of the reporters asked him, what's the first U.S. Open you remember watching? And he said 2014 at Pinehurst when Martin Keimer won. So that made me feel 100 years old.
You were deep into golf channel,
for whatever it's worth, he does have Joe Scobrin on the bag, who was on Ricky's bag in 2014 when Ricky finished T2 here. I am loath to doubt what he's able to do after he showed everyone at the Masters that he's able to hang and finish runner-up as a debutant, but at the same time, as Ben said, eventually you hit it in sideways, eventually you get in this wiregrass and the thicket, and what are you going to be able to do with it? Especially the U.S. Open, everyone is going to have that stretch of 5, 6, 8 holes where things start to go a little sideways. Ludvig Aberg did not encounter that stretch today. He's going to hit it at some point. How he reacts and how anyone on this leaderboard reacts to that stretch when they get there is going to decide contenders from pretenders.
He's also in the afternoon tomorrow, so again, he's going to hit the potentially baked out side of things. So I think I wrote in the column, I might regret not taking the 650, 700, wherever he is right now, but at the same time, I can't advocate jumping on just yet.
There's plenty more people to talk about in the tournament. Those are your guys at the top of the leaderboard. We haven't even talked about Scottie Scheffler yet, so I guess we might as well discuss him first before we move on to some other things. Guys, look, clearly Scottie did not have even close to even his C game today. It's probably fair. He's still in it. That's the odds say he's still in it. The numbers might not say he's exactly in it, but Scheffler's the kind of guy, Will, where all he needs is a good enough round tomorrow, and he has 2 rounds left to make up after that.
Well, we saw, just look back to TPC Sawgrass, right? When he was 9 shots back with 21 or 22 holes to go, and then he races on and catches up with the leaders. Scheffler can play from the back of the pack as well as anyone. He can do anything as well as anyone, frankly, right now. I still think, this number is crazy short right now. For him to have a shorter in-play number than Patrick Cantlay, who's leading, for him to be, tied with Ludvig Aberg, even though Scheffler's sitting there at T34 and all these guys are 5, 6 shots ahead of him. Yes, it speaks to the respect that odds makers have, but I think it also speaks to just the massive liability that they accrued on Scheffler because these markets have been open for months and months, and everyone and their brother has been betting on Scottie Scheffler for the last 2, and their dog has been betting on Scottie Scheffler for the last 2 or 3 months. Like, oh, Scottie Scheffler. And so now all of a sudden, BetMGM has nearly half of their pre-tournament handle on Scheffler, so there is no incentive for them to create a number that's true to what his in-play number should be, like we saw potentially with Patrick Cantlay, because they've already got enough of Scheffler money. They don't need people to keep betting Scottie Scheffler. I think that if you look at some of the other guys, I wrote a column tonight for Golfbet, look at the other guys at +1 and their odds. You got Max Homa, he's 100-1 at +1. That is more accurate given where Scottie Scheffler is, on this leaderboard. I don't think he's going to win this golf tournament. Crazier things have happened. He certainly has the ability to shoot a 66 or 67 tomorrow morning and get right back into it. But you're right, Chris. This was about as much of a clunker as we've seen from Scottie Scheffler in maybe 4 months.
I was out there walking with Scottie Scheffler for the round, or for at least the first 13 holes, and I've never seen him hit it that wonky off the tee, especially. He was missing it both sides. He did not look good. He did not look comfortable. If it was me, if I went back to myself from a month ago, I'd be saying, and you could tape it,
Not
Scottie
a killer.
Scheffler is gone. He's got no chance. He can't win. But we know every time I say that,
He can absolutely win, guys. He can absolutely win.
Does something. Right, so yeah, look, +1 is not dead. I could see Scheffler being the guy to shoot a nice and easy, breezy 67 tomorrow to put himself back in contention. But the number is ridiculous. It's stupid. He's, like Will said, guys are 80, 100, 150 to 1 at the same spot. Scheffler's going to need to return from C game to A+ game from now on. He is capable, but it's going to take a lot. And as things firm up, he's going to have his short game on point as well. It all comes down to tomorrow morning for me with him.
Right.
I think, 68 minimum.
Because he's right on the border. He's right on the border. +1, +2 probably would have been too much. +1, he's right on it. You 68, 67, that's what you're saying?
The number's terrible, but he needs a 67 tomorrow, I think.
Scottie Scheffler is not winning the U.S. Open.
Gone. Gone!
Live bet the top 5. All right, how about some other guys who still might have a chance we haven't talked about yet? Xander, Schauffele, up and down today. The emotions from a month ago. Collin, Morikawa, who everybody is on right now. We're not giving up on him. He's also even par. Your boy, Will, Tommy Fleetwood. Is he in it? Give me an honest opinion. Is Tommy Fleetwood your outright pick still in this at even par?
He's not out of it. I don't know if he's in it.
So the answer is no.
We're clinging right now. We're clinging. I think that price of +5,500 is probably pretty accurate. But I do want to have a little story time here with Ben, who's been back in Collin Morikawa. We were out there when he was playing on the seventh green, and this is like Collin Morikawa in a nutshell, where he's playing with Brooks Koepka, and Koepka hits it to 7 feet, and Morikawa hits it to 4, and it looks like they're going back and forth with birdies, and then Koepka rolls in his putt, and Collin Morikawa takes a couple extra minutes and does a couple extra aim point moves, and then a 4-footer barely touches the hole. And that is the frustration with Morikawa. That's what did him in at the PGA. That's what has cost him last week at the Memorial, trying to track down Scottie Scheffler. He is striking the ball as well as he ever has, including when he won 2 majors. But man, Ben, it is hard to think, especially on a course where it's good. You're going to need to make this 6, 8, 10 footers. That's what it's going to come down to over these last 3 days. It's tough to say Collin Morikawa is my guy and the one that I trust over a putt that matters. Look,
because I've gone with him pre-tournament, I'm giving him one more day.
You have to say
I'm giving him one more day, and I am drawing him because I liked him pre-tournament. Will's 100% right, though. It was a gut punch for me because I'd seen him putt really well a few holes prior to that, and I was like, okay, he's off and rolling. Here he goes. He's the guy. He's the man. But when he was put in that head-to-head type of situation and given that, moment, he literally went out of his routine. We saw the fingers go up and this and that. It's like, dude, it's a 4-footer. Walk up and knock it in like you had the last few holes. He didn't do it. He missed it. That was a definite worry. I'm not going to lie. But I will say this. He made 2 doubles today on the par 3s. That is very unlike him for a start. That's not going to happen again. And he could have ejected himself, but he went birdie, finish, stood up, finished strong. And because of that, I'm comfortable that he might be able to come out and put himself back in this tournament.
So you're still drawing him.
Yes, I'm still drawing him at the number. The number's good.
Yep.
The number is very good for Collin. Now, in terms of Xander right there, he cannot possibly drive the ball worse than he did today.
Will loves this number.
Absolutely. Look, I was, again, out there with that group. I haven't seen him hit that off the tee that bad in forever. So he is absolutely going to improve that stat tomorrow. With that in mind, he will improve on his score. He is still a chance. I don't want to say he's going to win it, but I'm saying that he's definitely
67 for him tomorrow. 67.
Yeah, this is just another example of like, what are we doing with the Scottie Scheffler live price, right? Xander is a stroke ahead of him. He's 3 times the live price, plus 650 versus 1,600. Xander Schauffele is really good at golf, guys, all right? He just won the PGA. It would not surprise anyone to see him win the U.S. Open. He's been a perennial contender at this event for the last 7 or 8 years, and he didn't shoot himself out of it in the opening round. Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine with where Xander is. He's got that morning tee time alongside Rory, alongside Scheffler, and he's got less ground to make up than Scottie does, albeit only 1 shot. But man, it just speaks to how upside down Scottie's number is, and then it's relaying some value into the other guys around him.
Let's do this. Let's go deeper down the board because that's what we do at Golfbet, guys. Here's some more numbers, some more players who opened with really high odds. I mean, Akshay Bhatia, 220 to 1. Now he's down to 75 to 1. Pavon played really well this morning. Aaron Rise out there. Well, Sergio, blast from the past. Probably not in it, but nice to see him do some well. Ben, what were you saying there about those numbers?
I want to say something because I'm going to give myself a rap. Late yesterday, I wrote a column about what I call the Nevilles, or the guys that not everyone knows. And I told you that somebody would be in the top 10 after the first round at great odds.
Was it Aaron Ray?
10 to 1.
Aaron Ray?
10 to 1.
Aaron Ray?
I said Aaron Ray at 10 to 1 would be in the top 10 after the first round. He's sitting there, T9, you beauty. I hope he got in it. And we almost had the double. We almost had, what is it, Frankie Sappin?
Frankie Sappin, yeah.
Frankie Sappin, who had got tipped off by, I'll give Kevin Price a wrap out, KFT Insider legend. He said Frankie Sappin was a great look at 16 to 1 in the top 10. He was sitting there for most of the day until he folded late, and that would have been a great double. But yes, Aaron Rai, look, he's doing well. Do I think he's going to move forward or go great from here? I don't know. I don't think he's going to win this tournament. But if you are looking for guys who to finish in the top 10 live with good odds, that's the sort of player.
Massive odds.
Or even Akshay. I think of this group, if you ask me who has the greatest chance to still be there on Sunday, it's Akshay Bhatia. And I was, wrong on Akshay early in his career. He has been super impressive over the last 12 to 18 months, including that win at the Valero Texas Open. Is he going to win this tournament at 75 to 1? Probably not. But if you look into the secondary or derivative markets of what his updated odds are to be a top 10 or a top 20, you're still going to get plus money, a pretty good return. And Akshay just is super impressive right now, and it would not surprise me to see him remain in the mix over the next couple of days.
I agree with that. I think Akshay is the super talent there, and he has a good head on his shoulders. He wants to play well. He wants to prove himself. You're definitely getting some potential value in the place markets.
Anything else you guys wanted to mention? Any players you think we missed that the folks need to keep an eye out for on round 2 tomorrow?
I don't need Ben's ego to get any bigger than it already is, but
right.
I will say he came up to us earlier in the week and he's like, the numbers really indicate Matthew Pavon is going to be in there. And Sean Martin and I, sorry Sean, I'm throwing you under the bus. We said, listen, Matthew Pavon has no chance. He's been off the grid forever. He's been off the grid forever. He goes and puts up 2 eagles on the par 5s today. That's a quick way to run up the leaderboard at the U.S. Open. I'm not sure that the Farmers Insurance Open champion is going to still be in the mix come Sunday, but impressive first round for sure.
After people got on the top 20 pre-tournament, that would have been a good
do that.
Good
that's the best bet, right? Hey, he's at afternoon tee time tomorrow. Imagine how high his odds are going to be after those stars go out. I don't know why that happened behind me, but apparently that keyword stars did something.
Don't forget.
You're just excited.
Adam Scott.
Okay, here we
said
go.
top 40.
He's 1 under.
Plus money. Top 40. I don't know. How did he finish?
Well, he almost made this list, but he just missed it.
Yeah, there you go.
He just missed this
Adam
list.
Scott playing in his 92nd straight major championship. Very, very motivated to keep playing well. Hopefully he can keep upside. In that up top 20 would be even better, but if he hits that top 40, you heard it here first.
We had a great day out here. The course is crispy. It's going to get crispier. The weather's perfect. It's going to be a great tournament. We got a stacked leaderboard. I can't wait to see this thing continue to develop and just make some more predictions in about 24 hours here.
Yeah, we'll see you back here tomorrow.
We had to get an Australian comment in there some point. Round 1 is in the books at Pinehurst. What will Friday bring with 2 men at the top? Patrick Cantlay and Rory McIlroy, 5 under par. It's going to be a fantastic 54-hole finish.